Alright, today we are going to do a little quick walkthrough of the Corrviator, which again is a fork of the Corriva, sorry. This is the blueprint. It's all functional. It is both survival and creative ready. So a couple things that are majorly different from the previous version you've seen. Mostly is this back portion here, which is the loading dock. And basically this is required because we have the limitation of having to use a collector in order to put items into the dock. So basically this connector, when it is powered, which is only powered when it's docked, will dispose of anything in these 4 medium cargo containers, which is essentially equivalent to the 3 plus a welder and a collector on the train. There's a little bit of a wasted space, but there's no other good solution to doing that. But anyways, it'll put everything that's in here into the Corrviator. So it kind of gives you like a buffer zone. And this connector here will only accept interior plates. So any interior plates go in here, they get sorted through the collector, pumped up into here, and then eventually this gets turned on, it gets emptied out into the Corrviator. And then it undocks and it can go back up and weld. In survival, this isn't really needed. It's got a catch or a failsafe, so if it doesn't have any goods, the EC block can kind of get stuck, but there's a failsafe, so after 4 seconds of nothing moving through the system, it just sends it back up. So it doesn't delay the operation to have that at all, and it works fairly good. In theory, I haven't done like a full survival test on it, but it's all there. Otherwise, you can see in here we've got something like the auto mode here, which is another big feature, and you can see here this timer block here will turn green when it's on and red when it's off. You can see red is off. Unless you're in survival mode, you don't want to use the auto mode, because the auto mode basically just sends it up and then back down and then up and then back down and then up and then back down and then up and then back down, which only matters when you're in survival mode, because it takes in theory 6 hours with no travel time in survival mode just to weld the whole thing out. In reality, it's probably like close to 10 to 12 hours with travel time, because you gotta go back up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's on like standard, no changes. If you're on like 10 times, it'd take 2 trips. If you're faster weld speed, it's going to take less time because you just won't have to weld for as long. And it does kind of adapt. There is a max speed at how fast it'll go, but if you have a higher weld speed, it will move faster than if you have a slower weld speed. Just by the nature of the way the timer blocks work, it kind of adapts to whatever the weld speed of the world is. Yeah, so that's that. We can see we got that off. We've got our ascend, descend, and brakes just like normal. We've got the yeet mode. We've got slow weld drilling. We've got, and the drill. This is kind of vestigial. There's no reason for the drill necessarily to be on the Corrviator, unless for like the very slim chance that you happen to like deploy this right underneath an asteroid. But basically it's just there because that was on the Corrviator, and I can't just take these sensors off, so it's just gonna stay there. It's fine. It's fine. Like I say, if you happen to run into a asteroid, you can just go right through it. Essentially, I would like to like maybe update this so maybe it's like invertible, so you could just like just paste it inverted and then just turn it into, like a core evader, go to the Earth's core or whatever. Okay, that was that was bad. Anywho, okay. So yeah, like we can go, and it's a 3-button pattern: red, white, green. Red to turn off the brakes, white to instigate the welder, and green to go upwards. So it's quick and easy to remember that. There's no one button, just because that complicates things in the timer block logic, and that's not the goal of this project. So, you know, you can fucking press 3 buttons. If that's too much for you to get to space, I don't know what to tell you. But moving along, the little carriage here is pretty much unchanged. We've got a little sign here just to remind you what to do. Other signs. I did have a cargo container here before, and I kind of miss having it because I did have an extra oxygen tank just in case you're in survival mode, you accidentally come out. But I really wanted this timer block to be here so that you could always know if you're on auto mode, because sometimes I found that was an issue with the brakes. Sometimes you'd be in brake and you just won't know it. So the auto mode will visually show you, and I just got this plate up here so that, you know, when you're just in here, you don't have to get bombarded by that red light, so you have to kind of look for it. But as you can see, everything's going fine. We can go ahead and stop and head down, and we can go down nice and quick. It's about 45 speed down, 30 or so going up with the default power. So you can click either the ascend or the descend button twice. One's for 50% and second's for 100%. As you can see, we are going to merge on up, and you can see this connector is now transferring. It detected that it didn't transfer for 4 seconds, so it shut it off, and it disconnected this here, so we can whoop, just like that. And that's one thing you do not want to do. So the reason why it blew up there is because you have to get so high up the Corrviator before the sensors turn back on for docking. So you have to go about 100 feet or so into the air. There's just no good way around it. So if you are playing in survival mode, be cautious that you don't just instantly turn around because you, oh, I forgot something. You have to go a little bit farther. Perhaps I can figure out a way to kind of put a failsafe in there, but I don't have the time at this particular time, so just don't be stupid. Easy. So I don't really want to wait for this thing to weld up all the way, but you can see there is a runout sensor. It doesn't work terribly great when you're this low. So always remember to turn on your weld before you put this on. You won't eject out the end unless you have eat mode enable. Speaking of that, the eat mode button here, basically what that'll do is it'll turn off the sensors on the cart itself, which will unlock its full speed. It'll also increase the speed, so it'll go up to about 65 meters per second, up or down. The downside is that it's generally too fast. I suppose we could probably test it here. I'm not exactly 100% sure if that will crash into the base or if the docking sensors will catch it. I know the runout sensors will not catch it, so if you're going forward and you don't have the space dock set up yet, and you're in yeet mode, you're just going out the tube and you're going, 65 meters per second into whatever direction that tube was facing. So you can see this is about high enough for the sensors to have turned back on, and and we can just go shoom and come back down. But one thing I did want to show, probably best to show with this one. Oh. And I thought this one was... Is this not the... I think it's actually this one over here. And as you can see, I've got several of these in the world right now. And I still have perfect sim speed, perfect frames, all that. You can... They're very, very low on processing power. Even when I get like near this, smack into it, it's not really dipping. So this is the space station, which is just very simple. Technically everything here can be welded up with the Corrviator, but since the unless you're playing in creative mode, there's no way to load up anything but interior plates, so you either have to adjust the sorters to load it up by hand, or you know, just bring some shit with your inventory and just weld this up by hand when you get up here. We've got a battery, an antenna, because the antennas at the base won't reach, so we still need to communicate. And then we've got a gravity gen, which is just nice because, you know, I'm so very used to correcting my, like, doing stuff like that anytime I get into space without a gravity gen, I cry. So I put it here. You don't have to use it. I like it. And then we've got 3 sensors, and that's just to allow docking here. So once this is all built, you can actually even continue to weld forward, and you could even have like a higher platform if you really wanted to. As I said, in the game engine, it's about 16,000 blocks that you can make one of these. Probably closer to 15,500. Just because of how detailed the base itself is, because I used some extra blocks and then whatnot. So if you really wanted to go farther, you could, but it's only set up to go this far. You would have to modify one of the blueprints to do that. So we can do something like this. We can turn on the yeet mode, and you can see we are now doing about 65 meters per second, and we are friggin' cruising. This isn't even... Which train is this? So this was the... This isn't the one I just pasted in for this world. This is one of my testing trains, so I don't actually know what the docking is set up like. But we're just going to ride this down so you can see what like the full trip takes once you've built it. It's about 13 minutes. About 14 minutes when we started this trip down. So we'll see how long that takes. But yeah, hopefully that the dock is set up on this blueprint. I don't know. I think it is. And I'm still not even sure if it'll go through with this yeet. Technically this doesn't shut off the docking sensors that exist on there, but I don't think it's... I think if we go... If we look here, it's just increasing power, increasing speed limit, and turning off the stop sensors. So it should still catch the dock sensors. And we're coming up on the ground now. Whether or not there's enough braking time for this speed, I don't know. Yep, yeah, I know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, nope. That would be a no. That would be a no. Holy smokes. I am phased into something here. That broke in a spectacular path. I don't even know what... Okay. In any mode, the yeet mode is just there, mainly for the lulz. It was never meant to be an actual function. Personally, I don't see much difference in going down at 45 versus 65. I would rather know that my elevator isn't going to blow up like this and go down a little bit slower. it's nice and automated anyway, so you can just walk away and drink a coffee. But yeah, that's basically everything there is to say about the Corrviator. Go download it, rate it, do all that stuff. This kind of sucks when you spend dozens, if not hundreds of hours on a design and you upload it to the workspace and or workshop and it really doesn't gain any traction, and like 5 people over the lifetime of the blueprint actually use it, and that sucks. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this one, because I think this is a really cool blueprint and it's functionally useful because it does work in survival mode, which is rare. Oh, speaking of that, I guess we can quickly touch the survival mode kind of instructions are kind of weird. You gotta take a large grid rotor, do this, and then large grid projector, oop, and then you can, in this projector, you install the empty shell, which is, it's all in this, the blueprint here. You can get it all from it. You install that empty shell in this blueprint, and then you build that around it. This is all described in the listing, but just kind of visually. And then once you've built like the bottom structure, you come in here, you add a merge block facing up, and then on this side you add one more projector, and then on this projector you can put the entire small grid blueprint, which includes this kind of border around the base, the storage here, as well as the train is all on one small grid. And you put it in there, and that'll allow you to build that, and then you can build the corridors around the train by adjusting its suspension. But it is possible to build, even though it's 2 grids, because of the way the projectors and everything is structured. It's reasonably realistic to do it in survival. Oh, and I forgot to check the timer, but we were something like 2 minutes to get down from space to here in yeet mode. I think it's like 4 minutes or something. Not even in regular mode. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say. It's not perfect just about yet, but I honestly won't. I'm not going to have time to mess around with this for the next little while, so that's kind of where it's going to stay. And you can use it now. Go check it out, and I'll catch you on the next video.